Hello, this is the fifth video in my Dr. Popkins method series. If you've seen the first four, you'll know what it's all about, but a quick recap. I've been challenged to explain how I managed to get fluent in several languages, and so I told the story in the second video of how I learned French and Welsh, and I went on to discuss my Russian and German learning experiences. Then in the last video, number 4, I explained this wasn't down to any particular talent, but that I'd made the most of the resources that I had, and I'd made some good choices, I think. In this video I wanted to talk about some of the excitement and the inspiration though that's kept me going over the years in what for me has been a long-term learning experience. I think the thrill of making weird sounds is one of the attractions to me of language. I can remember when I was a kid, I used to make up gobbledygook, and when we were playing, sports in the street outside the house, perhaps I would give a commentary, supposedly multilingual commentary, just using gobbledygook. The idea of being able to communicate through different sounds has always been something miraculous and wonderful to me. And getting to be able to do it's a big motivation in its own right. It's also part of a wider discovery, I think. I've always enjoyed travelling, going abroad, new smells, new climates, new architecture, and a new landscape, and of course meeting new people. So it's the discovery element in a wider sense beyond language itself, which has been another great source of excitement for me. And it's one reason why, I decided to go into Russian history rather than British history, and why I decided to go abroad to study, because I just love exploring new places and new countries. Now, I said that one of the attractions for me of languages was to travel, to discover places and people. But once you start to get into a language, of course, that brings with it the whole culture, and it gives you the opportunity to get far more deeply into the history of a place and it's the nature of the society than would be the case without the language. What you start to discover are these differences also in how language itself is used socially to express politeness, whether culture is more or less direct, different rhetorical styles, which I started to find really interesting. In Russia, for example, there's a far more florid style of greeting people for their birthdays, for example. The style of giving toasts is completely different when you're around the dining table. Ideas of hospitality are quite different too. And the more I've got into my languages and, with reading and going to the country, getting to know people, the more interesting I've found this whole aspect of language learning, and it's become in itself one of the prime drivers for me now with my advanced languages to continue to discover more. It also enriches your understanding of your own culture, I think, really, for better and for worse. You have more information and a higher level of knowledge and understanding. It's sometimes said that when you learn a new language, you get a new personality. I'm not sure I'd go that far, but one thing I do really like is that I am a slightly different person, just because I'm in a different role, usually because I'm doing different things and know different people when I'm using a different language. I wouldn't say it involves trying to disguise your background or where you come from, but it does involve sort of opening a new window, another dimension in your personality, rather than erasing what was already there. So again, I think it's really enriching to go along this route. I talk about the importance of routine in language learning as a way of making sure that you're disciplined, that you're actually doing the right things repeatedly to keep you on the straight and narrow. But it's more than that, I think. I'm not saying Zen language learning, but somehow there is an enjoyment in the process, I think, which you learn. Once you've made a commitment, you have a need, a reason to learn the language, you're getting on with it. Particularly as I've gained in experience, I knew that by putting in effort and getting practice, I could really see improvements. I learned that with my French, the first language I got fluent in. So that then it became a pleasure to practice learning the language in the sense of implementing methods, as well as actually getting out there and practicing in the literal sense. That has been something then which I've sort of taken pleasure in, because I knew it was going to bring the wonderful, exciting rewards of getting fluent in the language. Like most successful learners then, I've had a range of motivations, and they change over the years, I think. Motivation is particularly important, I think, in the early stages. But if you're in for the long haul, then I think, it hasn't just got to be the carrot, there's got to be a bit of a stick too. And in the next video, I want to look at, how I've kept going. I mean, to be honest, I didn't often really feel like it. So, see you next time, from the carrot to the stick. Bye.